The first athlete on the list, coming in at number 10, is Irwin from Belfast. Brian was a strongman and a powerlifter from mid-2000s to around 2015. He was competing mostly at the World Strongman Cup, the Strongman Super Series, and at the national level. Brian appeared at the World's Strongest Man once in 2005. He was unable to make the final and finished 5th in his heat. His arguably best performance came at the 2005 World Strongman Cup in England. At this competition he beat a number of World Strongest Men final level athletes such as Jesse Murundi, Raivis Vidzis and Tarmo Mitt. He finished second only to another great strongman from Northern Ireland, Glen Ross. At number 9 I have the one and only Glen Ross. He was an immensely strong human being. Standing in at 6'1" or 185 centimeters, he wasn't anywhere close to being the tallest strongman. However, where he lacked in height, he made up in size. During his time competing, Glen Ross's body weight ranged from 180 kilograms up to staggering 215 kilograms. To put this into perspective, he was heavier than Hafthor Bjornsson, Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall or Gavin Bilton. All of this while being 15 to 20 centimeters shorter. At number 8 I have the guy who managed to win the title of the Northern Ireland Strongest Man 6 times in a row. This also happens to be Glen Ross. He won these titles from 1995 up until the year 2000. At number 7 I have the guy who managed to win the UK Strongest Man 5 times and the title of Britain's Strongest Man further 3 times. These feats were both done by Glen Ross. At number 6 I have the guy who won the World Strongman Cup Europe Strongest Man in 2004. This was also done by Glen Ross. At number 5 I have the guy who appeared at the World's Strongest Man 5 times. If you've been following me, then you know that it's Glen Ross. Despite his 5 appearances, Glen never made the final. The closest he has gotten was in the year 2000, when he tied in points after the last event with Regin Vagadal and was eliminated on countback. Glen appeared at the World's Strongest Man for the last time in 2003. He failed to qualify for the final once again. He realized that the more speed and endurance focused era of the World's Strongest Man isn't for him. You can say that he was too strong to compete at the World's Strongest Man. After this, he switched his focus to other competitions like Arnold Strongman Classic. At number 4, I have the guy who won the Masters World's Strongest Man in the year 2011. This is also Glen Ross. At number 3, I have a strongman who set the world record in the hammer tire deadlift at the 2005 Arnold Strongman Classic with a lift of 977 pounds or 443 kilograms. This strongman was Glen Ross. This nicely brings us to the number 2 on my list. As number 2, I have the guy who finished on the podium at the 2005 Arnold Strongman Classic. This podium finisher is Glen Ross. After the first 2 events, Glen was only half a point behind the first place. He finished 5th at the axle press and he won the hammer tire deadlift. He zeroed at the medicine ball toss, but he came back and tied for first at the inch dumbbell press with Brian Siders and Hugo Girard. Glen's strict pressing a 78 kilo dumbbell overhead 10 times just shows how much of a static monster he actually was. At the next event, the hammer lift, Glen finished 4th. This once again wasn't due to him lacking strength, but rather speed. At the last event, the frame carry, Glen finished only 8 centimeters behind Zydrunas. This secured his 3rd place finish at the Arnolds. And at number 1, and the strongest man from Northern Ireland, I have the Daddy!
I am the Daddy.
Glen was the first man from the UK to total 1000 kilos in raw powerlifting. He did so squatting 380 kilos, benching 240, and pulling 380. And if that wasn't enough, when he got the down call on the deadlift, he pulled it for a second rep and shouted, "Who's the daddy?" So obviously this wasn't a serious video, but I wanted to make a video for the 1st of April and I decided that it would be better if it was something educational. And I believe Glenn deserves to be talked about because he's statically one of the strongest guys we've ever seen. He wasn't the best strongman, but he is arguably one of the strongest ever. And I don't think he's as well known outside of the UK, so I just wanted to make a video about him. Nowadays, Glenn is retired, he focuses on promoting shows, he's behind the Ultimate Strongman Federation, they organize great shows. For example, the Summer Manias, I really love those. He did like junior championships, masters championships. He's behind the UK's Strongest Man and stuff. Great shows. Go check them out. And if someone asks you,
Who's the daddy?
you'll know what to answer. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.